Covered Arizona for 27 years as a fair and honest journalist. I'd never seen it more safe than under President Trump. On day one, hour one, Joe Biden pulled back that policy and with a wink and a nod, in effect, told the world to come on over illegally. And we've seen the result of that. Millions upon millions upon millions of people.
Arizona Senate candidate Kari Lake visits the southern border and says things are much worse than they are telling us. Lake has vowed to secure the border and get the border wall done should she get elected to the United States Senate. For more, let's bring in Kari Lake herself. It's great to see you, lady. Merry Christmas. I had Texas Senator Ted Cruz on my Newsmax 2 show earlier today, and he told me the situation at the border, if you think it's bad, it's worse. Listen to what he said.
I believe we are today at a greater risk of a major terrorist attack than we have been at any time since September 11th. I spend a lot of time at the southern border. What is happening there, if you have not seen it firsthand with your own eyes, as bad as you think it is, I promise you it is 1,000 times worse. We are being invaded. 8.6 million illegal immigrants have crossed into this country. I was down at the southern border 3-4 weeks ago, went out on midnight patrol with the Border Patrol, which I do often. We are seeing a constant invasion. You don't have to go hunt for illegal aliens. You don't have to look for them. They find you.
Well, this is all coming, Kari, as we're getting breaking news now from Texas Governor Greg Abbott. He's going to bus, he's claiming, 70,000 illegal aliens to left-wing cities like New York, Chicago, D.C., Philly, and Denver. By the way, was Senator Cruz, what he said, does it match the description of what you saw down there?
Absolutely, 100%. And Tucson sector in Arizona, I think, has the worst right now. People have seen the video of people pouring across. This is a video you're showing of we call it our Mama Bear border tour, because my Moms for Kari group is so concerned about what they're seeing at the border. How these people are ending up here on buses going to cities all over this country. And we saw in Nogales, Arizona, which is where we're standing in that video, that's where everybody who's detained gets processed. In Nogales, it's a town of 22,500 people, and about 9 buses leave every day full of illegal immigrants to a city near you, to an airport near you. And I'll tell you what, these moms who work so hard to protect their family are furious. They're saying, when is our government going to protect us? Our streets are less safe. Senator Cruz is right. We are at risk of a terrorist attack any day. We have basically a foreign army that has invaded our country, and we don't know where these people are, what they're up to, because Joe Biden is reckless and he's a dangerous man, and he's allowed for this to happen.
Mostly military-age men, the same age of the men who stormed the Israeli border and unleashed horror on that country. Kari, the same party that's inspiring all this is also responsible for new shocking details coming out about Inquisitor Jack Smith and his so-called investigation into President Trump. It's now being reported that the Inquisitor wanted to get Twitter information on every American who ever interacted with President Trump's Twitter account. And what is even more shocking is how this is being ignored and seemingly looked at as okay by the biased press. Given how far off the rails this country is under Democrats, it's frightening what they could do with a list like that. Shouldn't the GOP seek to reduce the size of the federal establishment and rein in these rogue elements in our own government?
The plan is camps.
So frightening, because I'm assuming these people took the oath of office and promised to uphold the Constitution, and they're doing just the opposite. You know, President Trump, Chris, has always said, they're not after me, they're after you. I'm just standing in the way. And now we're seeing that. Are you kidding me? If you liked or retweeted a Trump tweet, you are on their list. This is legal tyranny. This is the kind of tyranny that we've seen in banana republics and communist-run dictatorships.
Going down swinging, baby.
And now it's come right here to our country. And I think everybody needs to really sober up and straighten up when they hear this and realize now our government is after all of us. Who hasn't shared or commented or liked or retweeted something that a president says? This is outrageous and it's dangerous. And it shows you what kind of pressure President Trump is under from these this weaponized DOJ and soon to be Americans who've done nothing wrong except exercise their freedom of speech.
Yeah, and it also shows you how
no one other than
political enemies
Donald
have become.
Trump
Kari, you probably saw
is
this
standing
poll.
up for us.
It's terrible for the country.
The way he's doing it.
Democrats are smiling ear to ear about it. According to a new Wall Street Journal poll, nearly half the country, a plurality, believes the American dream is dead. 45% of us. And nearly 20%.
That means all your children have no American
say
dream.
The American dream never really existed. I believe it is the Democrats who have killed the American dream. How can you restore it once you get to the Senate?
Demon rats, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm glad you asked it that way because we can restore the American dream. I mean, the American dream under Joe Biden and the Democrats has been unaffordable. I have a 19-year-old and a 20-year-old, and they've said to me many times, Mom, I don't know that we'll ever be able to own a house. I have a lot of young people who work on our campaign. They say we're going to be stuck renting and unaffordable rent for the rest of our lives. We need to make the American dream affordable again, and I think the American first policies are the way to go. President Trump showed us we could have a strong economy. When he was in office, every single sector of the economy was stronger, and more importantly, every single American was doing better under President Trump than they are now. And if you're really honest with yourself, you look back 4 years ago, and financially we were doing better, our streets were safer, our neighborhoods were safer, our country was safer, and we had peace around the world. And that's what's important. So I think we get back to those America First policies, common sense policies, and we can revive the American dream. I really think it's important, Chris, that we
If making America great is wrong, I don't want to be right.
Because we've been through tough times before. We've had double-digit inflation before. And through coming together and putting our country first and a little bit of optimism and some hard work, we have come through before, and I believe we will again.
Well, but I think something's different this time around, and you can't blame people for recognizing we've got the pro-Democrat Republican element. We've got these Republicans who either don't care about the harm the Democrats are doing or they support what the Democrats are doing to us.
Get rid of them.
Disgraced Congressman Adam Crying Kinzinger, let's take him for example. He's out there bashing anything that is America First. Now, you tweeted a speech by the great Ronald Reagan, and then Kinzinger lost it. He tweeted, quote, Ronald Reagan would have nothing to do with you. I'm 100% positive.
I really don't think that's true.
On X. Now, you're slamming Gov Ed Secretary Miguel Cardona for badly misquoting Reagan about how Reagan felt about big unaccountable government. Kinzinger, along with Liz Cheney, withheld video evidence from the public on what really happened on January 6th. In my opinion, Reagan would want nothing to do with them. What's your message to Kinzinger and other pro-Democrat Republicans out there?
Well, you know, I grew up in a town about an hour away from where Ronald Reagan grew up, obviously a few decades apart, and he was a childhood hero of mine. He's the reason I registered as a Republican. He was a great optimist, and he helped get our country back on track. And I believe that he would be an America First Republican if he were alive today. As a matter of fact, the great quote, "Make America Great Again," came from Ronald Reagan. And so I'm not going to get too worried about Adam Kinzinger. You know, an unemployed middle-aged guy who's working for CNN or MSNBC now. I'm going to let him do his own thing. I worry, nothing worries me about anything he could possibly say about me. I'm a strong woman, and he is thankfully no longer in Congress. We've made an improvement by getting him out.
You know, strong women like you kind of rub those beta males the wrong way. Kari Lake, thank you very much, lady. Appreciate the time, as always, and a Merry Christmas to you and the family. Coming up next, why summer